Hello and welcome to our series podcast, Dinis Guarda, citiesabc. This is a project that we've been very excited and it's been growing quite significant. At the moment, we passed the 2 million views and we have been growing in a global audience that has been having highlights of some of the leading personalities in technology, finance, management, and as well governments around the world. The podcast and the series are going to be growing quite significant. We are doing a lot of new partnerships with multiple organizations worldwide, and as well our distribution is going to be increasing. So this is part of the citiesabc.com platform, and as well it's been distributed on YouTube and all the major podcasts around the world. And we're going to start as well doing it in China. So for today, I think it's going to be interesting. And of course, we've been very proud of the people. At the moment, we're close to 70 people that we've been interviewing worldwide, and we're going to be increasing in the next couple of months. I'm very excited today. I have with us a lady and an expert in technology joining us from China. I'm based in London, so it's good to get these geopolitics and as well geolocations correct. So I would like to introduce Qiaoyin Yang that we're going to be interviewing today. So she's a senior member of Huawei IEEE, and currently she works at Huawei Technologies as a senior industry solution manager and leads various standardization groups on the adoption of ICT to the electric power industry, including SIGRI D2 B567 and the technical specifications for smart transformer terminals, and all the reference architecture for power distribution of IoT, Internet of Things technologies. Qiaoyin Yang has an expertise in the field of electric power systems and automation, digital substation, IoT, digital transformation, and strategy consulting for power industry, which is an area critical for the world global infrastructure, especially as electricity becomes increasingly more important. She's a registered professional engineer in the state of Washington, USA, and an IEEE senior member, and she holds 4 patents and has authored many publications. It's an honor to have you here. Welcome to our podcast series.
Thank you. I'm very honored to have this opportunity to share my experience and my views on adopting this kind of new ICT technology for the electric power industry.
So I would like to start by giving a bit of context about you. You're quite young, but you have already a fantastic profile, and as well, it's quite impressive, 4 patents and working with one of the leading technology companies in the world. And in one area that is, I think, becoming cutting edge, because I think the electric, especially electric in industry associated with new automobile and cities is really right now becoming a mainstream, and is actually creating a lot of things when it comes to digital transformation and sustainability. But going back to the basis, could you tell us a bit about yourself, your background, and your present role in Huawei?
So I'm a senior industrial solution manager at Huawei, and then I'm working with my fellow coworkers to bring new ICT technologies and then build innovative solutions for the electric power industry, and then solving a lot of challenging issues presented by by Huawei's customers. And then I'm very happy to be with this team, and we are bringing new values and new solutions to the industry. Going back a little bit about myself, I graduated from North Carolina State University with a master's degree in engineering, and worked in the United States for a couple of years and specializing as an automation engineer in electric power industry. And then after about 2019, I moved back to China to be closer to my family and took on a job with Huawei. And I'm very happy to take on this job and building new ICT solutions for the electric power grid.
Fantastic. So I would like to start, and I know that next week we are in the second week of September. Huawei is going to organize a big event that is Huawei Connect that gathers a lot of synergies across the 5 tech domains of expertise that are actually the biggest domains of technology worldwide. So one of the questions that I would like to start is, when it comes to your work in terms of ICT and all the areas of electric power industry associated with the areas of AI, big data, edge computing, and IoT, there's a huge right now revolution going on. And all of this creates a very powerful ecosystem that can actually be used. And I think China is leading the world on these areas. But there's a lot of work to be done in order to make this work in a more, first of all, scalable way and take it in a global scale. So could you tell us a bit about this work and how do you look at these challenges, but as well how do you build the ecosystem when it comes to these areas?
There are many challenges of applying these new ICTs like, for example, AI, big data, digital platform into the electric power industry. For challenges, I have seen, I work with different utilities and in the past year, and I probably would summarize it in two aspects. One is that externally, utilities are all definitely looking into new ICTs and then trying to solve the demands or requirements coming from the government or society and expectations from customers, consumers. They want renewables, they want green energy, right? And then managing renewables, managing green energy, and managing millions of connections at the distribution side with customers with electrical vehicles are all challenging issues. So utilities have to work with customers, work with tons of data in order to come up with better strategies to provide services to its customers, and also meeting a lot of regulations coming from the government side and from the society. So, and then very fortunately, I have the opportunity to work with State Grid Corporation of China, China Southern Power Grid, and other utilities outside of China in the past year. And then along with the digital transformation team at Huawei. So I spoke to those technical teams at those utilities and also the executives, and then learned a lot of challenges they share a lot of challenges and then issues they run into with me. So I'll probably say that the integration of this new ICT technologies is very challenging. First of all, it requires a R&D effort, engineering, and building new skill set into its fellow workers, and then its staff. And that is one aspect. The second aspect, I would probably say that from the management side, as a company, as an enterprise, you are building a new ICTs into your strategic plan, but you definitely also want to look into the ROI and look into how this ICT is gonna, in short term, in mid-term and long term, how this is gonna benefit your business, your existing business, and also supporting you to grow new business. So the overall, from evaluation of new ICTs, adoption of new ICTs, and then seeing, quantifying the performance to seeing the value that this new ICT brings, this entire process to be able to have a clear mindset is very important in terms of management. And then also I would say patience and then also reliable partner are all key elements of kicking off this digital transformation journey and adopting these new ICTs.
Yeah, this is a major breakthrough in terms of technology, and as well, especially when it comes to the infrastructure of cities and countries. It's going to make a massive breakthrough, especially when we make a bridge between, like you mentioned, ICT technologies, 5G, AI, IoT, and a lot of these. So one of the questions I have related specifically with your area of electric power industry, special, how do you see this when it comes to the legacy systems? Because I think this is kind of the biggest challenge, because there's a lot of legacy systems, for instance, in Europe where we are, that been going for almost 100 years, 200 years. That's now we have all these new developments in electric cars, IoT devices, a lot of different things in terms of infrastructure. And of course, we have as well the new layer of 5G. So how do you architect this and as well educate the different people? Because there's a huge amount of, in one end, the technology knowledge, in one end, almost physical infrastructure or architecture and all these different things. And the end is a very digital component. So how do you relate these three areas and as well make sure that people get it and get it fast because it's changing very fast?
Okay, I think you strike the key point here, that the legacy systems and how do we deal with the legacy system and the OT system, right? How do we apply this kind of ICT technology to improve, for example, operational efficiency, production efficiency, and so on. In my opinion, and then also the strategy that we're working with utilities, especially in the electric power industry, right? There are a lot of legacy systems in our power grid, and then and then a lot of the devices, sensors, they have different kind of interfaces and different kind of communication modules on those devices. And then there are different approaches to this kind of legacy system. One is an upgrade approach, and the other one is to replace, right? And then also for new, for example, new transmission line, new substations. When you build those new substations, there are new standards that you follow. And then luckily for the electric power industry, and especially for transmission and substation, there are a standard interface regulated by IEC. I wouldn't say regulated, but like standardized by IEC. And many countries are adopting the IEC standards, and the same in China here. So the electric power industry in general are in a slightly better place compared to probably the industrial and then manufacturing, those industries in terms of unified communication. On top of that, the connectivity-wise, right? So there are different communication technologies, and then those are just providing communication channels for different kind of services. And then I don't see that as much an issue. Especially there's wireless, there's PLC, there's 3G, 4G, 5G. They're all serving different purpose. And then this actually, the ecosystem is relatively well established for communication. And then I would say for the platform-wise and then building applications, it's going to be a new ecosystem. And then the traditional industrial leaders or industrial software providers are also positioning them in this marketplace. So I would definitely see that overall, regardless the industry, electric power industry as a traditional industry, or are all looking into moving into this new technology space, new marketplace. And I think we just need to have a little bit patience. Though yes, the ICT world is changing very fast, but we definitely seeing new domains, new business, new services adopting the ICT, and then bringing new values to all parties.
No, that's very impressive, and I think this implies a huge ecosystem, a huge amount of education, and especially the alignment of a lot of different teams working together. So it's not an easy task, and I'm sure for you, it must be a huge amount of work, both in terms of human relations, technology knowledge, different areas of software, different areas of hardware, and so forth. So and I know that China is leading the world on this. Even Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, said multiple times that China is right now by far past almost a decade the rest of the world in these areas. So what lessons do you pass for the rest of the world that wants to catch up, especially in the areas of ecosystem and in the areas of this marketplace that you mentioned, and relate all of these with digital transformation?
In terms of digital transformation takes a digital infrastructure. That infrastructure is it takes a lot of effort coming from all parties. That includes a country, a government, especially if are looking into the concept of smart city or building smart cities, right? It takes the government's overall strategic planning. It also takes organizational collaboration from in different industries, and there's a lot of organizations, right? They are promoting adoption of new ICTs and applying digital transformation methodologies to its own industry, right? Industry-wise and government-wise, and also the consumer marketplace. All this have to come to a certain kind of consensus, and then also eventually drive all the stakeholders in the value chain to innovate and to invest, and continually evaluating the outcome, and then through iterative effort, and then we will see we are approaching and then improving and then making good progress on this digital journey.
So on this sequence, in terms of your precisely work in this area, and Huawei in terms of this, how do you go from the theory to practice? Because like you said, this implies a huge amount of investment and implies a huge amount of work with people, organizations in different areas. So how do you particular, and you have 4 patents in this area, so you've been actually designing and working on this.
Okay, so I would take one of my experience, and I'd like to share with your audience about power distribution IoT. This is a specific project I participated in, and then this is meant to use the IoT technology and IoT managed platform, for example, to manage millions of distribution transformers in the distribution grid in China. As I mentioned, this project, first of all, I do want to point out, is a collaborative effort between utilities, vendor, product vendors, and then also software providers. So it's not just a effort by one party. And then I'm very fortunate to be part of the planning team in terms of building the unified, for example, data models for this for distribution transformers, and then unified communication interface, because there are many legacy communication interface. For example, IS-485, IS-232, PLC, there are different kind of communication, legacy communications, and then we have to standardize in communication, standardize in data models, standardize in the device management. For example, you have heard the term of plug and play for IoT devices, right? So how the entire flow for plug and play services, and then that need to be standardized, right? So because there are many software development companies working on this project. So that's what, taking this as an example, how we are applying IoT in managing millions of distribution transformers in electric power grid, right? This is a really good example. It takes collaborative effort from all parties. I hope this helps with this particular example from me.
One specific case that I want to ask you, so can you give us an example, for instance, let's say a council in London or a council in Brazil wants to do something like this, or a city in overall, or a country. Normally, what would be the architecture that you put to take this to a city, to a country, or to a council?
In principle, there are a few key elements. The first thing is definitely the sensing part, right? The sensors. The smart sensors distributed across the entire city, including your bus system, your trash recycle systems, your sidewalks, your street lights, and then your hospital systems, and then transportation. There's so many, right? So as a city, you do as a city, and for city planners, I'm sure that there are many departments managing different systems for the city. right? So you do need to, if you're looking into the smart city concept and they want to make the best out of it, based on our experience, based on Huawei's experience working with more than 200 cities providing digital transformation and smart city solutions. And I would definitely say that the first part is ensure that you have a framework for managing sensors, standard framework for managing sensors. And then on top of that, you want to build connectivity, right? Like I already mentioned, there are many different communication scenarios, and through wireless, wired, PLC, 5G era is coming, and then all this is going to provide the communication as connectivities, connecting all the sensors. With all this connected, now you are at the platform level. You would have IoT management, you have video, you have geographical information systems, and then you still concerned with security as well. On top of that, I see AI and big data as key component to making this a smart platform. The AI takes a lot of the application of AI takes more than just software companies, right? You have to have plenty data for model training, and then and those data might coming from different departments of a government, right? So all of this take collaborative effort, and I do see city planners and then the mayor, the government, the corresponding department head all need to come together to agree on a framework, how they're gonna deploy such platform across departments. I would take the Longgang district in Shenzhen as example. There are Huawei worked with the Longgang district, and then there are about as I recall, there are about like 280 IT systems in the Longgang district, the district government, and then there are about 60 different departments. To build this kind of the digital platform, digital transformation for Longgang district for government management, right? So this digital platform breaks this 60 department silos, and then also 280 IT system silos, right? With this, and bring all the data aggregating on the big data lake, and using AI and all those, and it streamlined a lot of processes for governments and improved the efficiency significantly.
When it comes to the example of the 60 departments working together, there's a huge amount of processing data and optimization of data, specifically with machine learning and artificial intelligence, deep learning. So this data creates a huge amount of, first of all, optimization insights, but as well a lot of analytics. And as well, it takes optimization from electric solutions and energy, but as well a lot of things like you mentioned, hospitals and different departments. So one question I have is related with the 60 departments, for instance, in that case study, which I think it's a very interesting case study for any city that can see this video worldwide. How do you, let's say, what would be like the metrics or the architecture that you would be highlighting to create optimization capacity and as well scalability for these cities that will want to deploy a solution like this?
So first of all, the first thing is the your administrative domain, right? So the Longgang district as a district government, they set the strategic plan and then determined to build this infrastructure for this district. That first comes, there's a resolution, right? There's a determinism coming from the government itself, that it's motivated. That is the first thing. All the other part is that the vendors like Huawei and other software vendors all coming together to provide this solution to the Longgang district. So I would say for other cities and then other countries taking this as a reference, is that you definitely see that this is coming from a collaborative effort and then a strategic planning from the government. And then ICT technologies are supporting pillars to realize this smart city vision or smart government or intelligent government vision.
From building patents in this area, which is quite a fantastic achievement, congratulations for that. Can you tell us how do you work on these patents and as well in bringing this when the technology is evolving so fast? Because I think, let's say, the electric energy has been going at least for 100 years or 150 years in some countries, but we are right now revamping everything with mostly self-driven vehicles and all these integrations with artificial intelligence and IoT sensors and different areas. So on the art, that will be my almost last question. So how do you see that work, your research as a patent creator, and as well the work of taking this in the practice?
And how we build innovative solutions. I do want to share my experience on this domain. So I would definitely say that for new technologies, and then new ideas, I would say that it takes a lot of research and then innovative thinking and jumping out of the box. So those are very key elements of bringing new solution, new ideas to the industry. So bridging research to and bringing research results to the industrial world or making it a product or a solution, I will definitely see that. So first of all, in our modern era, I definitely see that any new ideas mostly take more than one person. Oftentimes it takes a team. And then a team and pitching the idea, from my experience, pitching the idea to the management team, to the executive, and then as the owner of those new ideas, you do need to be able to quantify the value that it may bring to your company, and then getting recognitions for your idea is very important for you, for your team to bring those innovative ideas and solutions to the marketplace. Right. So after that, and it takes a lot of marketing and sharing with the industry and education and training for the industry to recognize this solution. Ultimately, I think the industry and the end user are the ultimate evaluation. The person who evaluate your solution, your idea.
Completely. So I think as the last question, so what are the major solutions that Huawei is offering in the areas of expertise that we are been talking here?
So in terms of electric power industry, which is the one I'm in, so I say I and my fellow workers and have been building and working to provide different solutions, innovative solutions for the electric power industry. There's a couple that I'd like to highlight here. The first one is adoption of AI for transmission line inspection. So there's a lot of AI computing power integrated into the AI cameras that it can detect normal conditions, events along the transmission line that actually save a lot of man hours inspecting those transmission line and also providing 24/7 monitoring. This is one of the solutions. And there are also intelligent substation operation and maintenance. And this particular solution that Huawei is working with Huawei partners and then to integrate legacy systems and then substation auxiliary systems and other, for example, physical security and video system all together, and then to provide a unified platform with applications to support, for example, substation online monitoring, substation comprehensive alarm management, and the operation management work orders and all those functions. So, and then using this platform, using the AI and big data, we are able to to provide the executive teams with more accurate information for decision making. This is for substation. And for distribution, like I already mentioned in earlier question when you asked me, that distribution side, we are providing edge computing and IoT edge computing for distribution grid, especially managing, for example, electrical vehicles, and then managing the devices such as network transformers, and then circuit breakers and all those devices. And then particularly, for example, the plug-and-play services, like I just mentioned, are part of this solution.
No, thank you so much. I think there's a lot of information here. I don't know, just as a last note, if you want to just highlight places where actually someone that wants to know about these solutions, some websites or some hubs where I know that Huawei has a huge amount of information online, but some areas where someone can actually get information. We'll put, of course, these in the interview links and in the text.
So for the information that you asked me, they're all available on Huawei's website. I would definitely send you the link, and so that you can share with your audience. I am very happy to share those user cases and then applications with the audience.
First of all, thank you for your time, Qiaoyin. It's been a pleasure to go through your experience and profile, and as well all these insights that we have here that we're going to be highlighting in the interview and highlighting with other links. Thank you so much.
Thank you.